I never gave seasoning a thought. Look, this is garlic powder. The ingredients, or organic garlic, right? Ground ginger. It says on the front, and the ingredients. The ingredients. There isn't even an ingredient label because that's it. It's just ground ginger. So I've been using seasoning with reckless abandon, never giving it a second thought until my darling sister wanted my keto-friendly chicken pot pie recipe, which is it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's so good. And one of the ingredients in there is my favorite Everglades seasoning. Anybody out there using this? You ladies in the South, you know about this. We don't have this in the grocery shelves up here in the Northeast, at least not in my neck of the woods. But my daughter lives now in Florida, and she and her honey came once and they were going to prepare a meal for us, and they were ransacking my kitchen looking for where I kept the Everglades. I don't even know what you're talking about. They got in the car and went to multiple grocery stores. If it wasn't in the regular one, they went to the schmancy ones. They couldn't find it. It's just not up here as far as I know. But I guess it's everywhere in the South, and now they give it to me for Christmas, and I have ordered it on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon because it is such a good all-purpose seasoning. Um, and I put it in my chicken pot pie, and I use it several times a week. So my sister wanted this, but my sister, she can't eat garlic. So she was curious, and I said, I don't think there's garlic in there. It doesn't have a real garlicky flavor. Um, but I'll check in a minute. Oh, she shot me back an ingredient list that made my heart stop. It was sickening. I was devastated, devastated, um, because there were all these nasty ingredients in there. But stop, wait, ladies. It's not as bad, probably, as we originally thought. So I guess the lesson number one is, I guess if the label says white pepper, you can assume it's just white pepper. But if it's, Italian seasoning, you better check the ingredient list. My Italian seasoning is marjoram. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, savory, and sage. Like clean, good, right? And that's what I'm expecting in my Everglade. But she sent back a list that included MSG, which I don't know whether to be upset about or not, to be honest with you, sugar, and I think I knew that. And I'll get back to that in a second. But also soybean oil and maltodextrin and caramel coloring. And those are all big, bad no nos. So I was like, I have to go find new seasoning. And I was prepared to come on here today and beg you, clean keto ladies, to give me your favorite all purpose seasoning. And maybe I should still do that because it looks like I have to make a compromise here somewhere if I want to stick with my Everglades. But as I said, it's not as bad as we thought. Um, so sitting down here, I got it all set up today and I was about to cry my salty tears. And I looked on my ingredient label. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see this. You can probably tell I don't have a good video set up yet. I'm always a different color in every video, in different degrees of blurriness. Ingredients: salt, spices, monosodium glutamate, dehydrated garlic and onions. See, so there's a bummer for my sister. Sugar and papain. I had to look that one up, that papain. They list it as an enzyme. As it's good for tenderizing meat. It's from papaya, and it doesn't have any carbs in it. And some say, especially, we keto eaters, we tend to eat a lot of meat, right? That it's good for keto eaters. So I'm not worrying about that. I have so many things I already have to worry about, right? I'm going to sit with that. Um, the sugar is the second to last ingredient. The carb count is 0 for 1 gram. I'm putting usually a teaspoon or two, which is going to be, I don't know, even if I get heavy and go with a tablespoon, I'm putting maybe, what, 5, 10, 12. servings in something that feeds, in a recipe that is going to feed 3, 4, 5, 6 servings. So it's a trace amount. It's like double a trace amount, maybe, or triple a trace amount of sugar. I'm okay with that. Dr. Kate says sugar isn't the biggest problem. Seed oils are the biggest problem, and I go with that. I also think additives, bigger problems than sugar. It's the amounts of sugar that we eat. So some little trace, a bit of sugar in an all-purpose seasoning blend, I'm not going to lose sleep over. Now, the MSG doesn't tend to bother me, and I need to do more research on that. And if you know more about MSG and why we should be running from it, put it in the comments. I would appreciate the education. However, um, that this all begs the question, where did Annie get all those? My sister's name is Annie. Where'd she get all of those? Well, I have 3 sisters. The one I was talking to is Annie. Where did all those other scary ingredients come from? So I poked around, and this is what I discovered. I'm reading from my little, I don't know if this is going to show. Can I hold up my whiteboard? Does that work? I don't know if that's going to work. I might just cut this in afterward. But so the original we now know has, a trace amount of sugar. I can live with that, and some MSG, which I am willing to live with. But what if you are afraid of salt and MSG? This might not be the seasoning for you, because there's a low salt slash no MSG version of Everglades, and it lists sugar, a trace amount, which I can live with, but this maltodextrin, which is another kind of a sugar, and it's killer. This is one of those things that hurts my digestive system, and my digestive system is usually pretty robust. mal means bad, right, in Spanish, and as a prefix, anything with mal in the front, or malto, we usually avoid these. So they're on my do not eat list. So that's a no for me. Like, I would not choose intentionally to eat anything with maltodextrin. But then there's a version that's, I guess, regular salt and no MSG, and that has maltodextrin listed above sugar, so more maltodextrin than sugar. And then it's got disodium inosinate and guanylate. I confess, I did not do any homework to look that up. I don't know what that is. Like, so that's what I call one of those questionable ingredients. Like, what's happening that needs to be in there? Caramel coloring. It sounds lovely, doesn't it? It sounds like caramel, like fall, caramel apples. And don't look that one up, just avoid it. It's one of the worst, and it's in everything, all your sodas, even your diet sodas. It's one of the reasons to avoid. So I don't like that. Soybean oil, it says only a trace amount. I don't really care. I don't want that soybean oil. And then it has silicone dioxide. I don't know. Silicone silicate sand, I don't know. Questionable. So I feel like, a spice blend should be pretty pure, should be just spices. But all my clean low carb recipes had a good chance of having this bad boy in there. So I don't know. It's not as bad as we thought it was yesterday morning when Annie sounded the alarm. But it still might be questionable for some of you out there who are concerned about MSG. Stay strong, wise, kind, and good.